So, good morning, everyone. My name is Mary, for those of you who can't see my name, because I believe I am listed as Natalia on the video. So, my name is Mary, and we are starting off in that nice, relaxing position this morning. We're going to have all of our tools beside us, our blocks, our little tennis ball, our strap, definitely our water, and maybe some protection for the knees if you're on a little harder surface. And then once we have gotten everything around us and we can start to not worry about anything for the next hour and a bit, except how our body feels, how our breath is moving, and noticing any changes throughout our practice today, and noticing the differences from side to side. So I've started off just lying on my back. My knees are bent. I just really like having my knees bent. Just takes a little bit of pressure off the back. And then your hands can be palms up or palms down, supination or pronation, depending on what you'd like. And then just some nice, deep, relaxing breaths. Maybe we've just woken up. Maybe we've already had a busy morning. Maybe there's been some events that are preoccupying our mind and we're thinking about them, stuff that's happening later today or tomorrow or later in the week. We're just going to put all of that aside. We're just going to bring ourselves right into the present moment. And the present moment might be just listening to a noise in the room, might be listening to my voice, might be bringing your awareness into how your back feels against the mat, or how your hands are connecting to the floor, or how your jaw feels. Just start to do that nice little body scan, because we're going to be focusing on hips a lot today. Maybe we just bring some awareness right into those hips. Notice how, just think about how we got down to the floor. Notice if we were finding it fairly easy, normal, traditional way we get down, or maybe we're finding it a little bit easier today. Hopefully we're not finding it a little bit harder. But again, it's not a judgment call. It's not like, oh no, why is my body behaving this way? Because there could be a million reasons why. We're just going, oh, okay, my body's behaving this way. And we're accepting it, honoring it, and then taking care from there. Let the lips part. Let the tongue pull away from the roof of the mouth. And let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose if it's possible. And then exhale nice and slow. Again, there's many different types of breathing we can do. We can do nose in, nose out. We can do nose in, tongue to the roof of the mouth, making an S noise. We can do our ujjayi breathing, which means we have a rustling in the back of our throat. I'm just going to stick to nose breathing if you care to follow me, but if you have a preference, just choose to your preferred method of breathing. Just take in those nice, slow, deep breaths. See if we can really expand those lungs. Maybe even pause at the top of the full breath. I'm going to slow my breath down even further, and if you'd like to join me for my counting, we're going to inhale for 4. We're going to pause for 2, then we're going to exhale for 6. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go back to regular breath now. Just hopefully we've calmed down the mind for our practice today. We're now being much more in tune with our environment, with our body. And if you're not lying on your back just yet, I want you to make your way onto your back. If you have your legs outstretched, I'd like you to bend your knees and walk your feet just slightly wider than your hips. Let those hands come out to a comfortable position. They can be totally out like a T. They can be down by your sides, about 45, palms down. It's all good. Then we're just going to gently let our knees drop over to the left. And then come up and drop them over to the right. So it's just a gentle rocking through those hips. And we're not looking for those knees to touch the floor. We're seeing if we can maybe get onto the sides of our feet. And we're noticing that if maybe one of our hips lifts up when we drop our knees. So my right hip lifts up when my knees go to the left. And then as I drop the knees to the other side, my other hip can lift up. And as I start to get a little bit more movement in those hips, then I might be able to make my range of motion a little bit bigger. And then we add in our breath, of course. We inhale to the top. We exhale, let the knees fall one side. Inhale to the top and exhale the other way. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Go ahead and bring those knees back to the center. Walk your feet so that they are touching each other and the feet are on the floor. Our knees are now together. And we're just going to separate the knees. We're just going to open up. This is going to open up through the adductors. And then we're going to squeeze closed. So working ab and adductors. So open up, it's like a clam. You can come out to the sides of the feet. You go as far as you need to for you to feel that stretch in the inner thighs. So we're just taking an inhale to open up. We're doing an exhale to close. We'll do it 2 more times. Inhale, open up. We want our back flat against the mat so that we're not arching it when the knees open up. So inhale to open up, press the lower back into the mat, and then bring the knees back together. We'll do it 1 more time. Inhale, open up, and exhale, squeeze together. Pull your right knee up into your chest now. Once we've got that right knee into our chest, we're just going to rotate your ankle around a couple times, and then rotate the other way. Just get some movement into those ankles. And then we'll put the foot down, we'll switch sides, we'll bring the other knee into the chest, and we'll move that ankle around. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll do a bigger rock movement. So place both of the feet down and your knees are now in line with your hips, your hands are out. And we're gonna take our knees together to the same side. It's not a wide stance, it's narrow. And then we'll move to the other side. So now it's more of an oblique twist as opposed to hips, because now we're twisting from your obliques, from your thoracic spine, and then letting the knees drop the other way, going back to that breath, inhale. So you might feel it in a different place in the lower back, and rise up. 1 more time each way, and then I'll meet you back in the center, where we're going to start to play with spinal manipulation. So on this one, we're back at the center here, and I am going to ask you to take your hands and place them down by your sides, so the palms are face down. Walk your heels in as close as you can. Now this is going to be slightly variation from what we traditionally do with our bridge poses in yoga. This is going to add an element of what we know in Pilates. This is going to warm up the spine a little differently. For yoga, it's usually about a back bend and a stretch and working the glutes and the hamstrings. For this one, I want us to work in between each of the vertebrae. So just rock your head a little side to side. And then I want you to notice your neutral spine. So your pelvis is on the floor, your shoulders are on the floor, and you should have a little gap, and we're all going to be different with the size of gap between our back. But what I want us to do is exhale and press that little gap out from your back, and you're going to tip your tailbone just slightly up. So I'm going to remove my hand in the front so that you can see my back. I want you to keep your hands on the floor, but notice that my hip is now supported on the floor. My shoulders are supported on the floor and there's a little gap. I'm tipping my tailbone up and squishing that gap out from my back, okay? So inhale, release. Keep those hands down by your side. I just removed my hand for visual. And then exhale, press into the mat. So this is called imprinting from a Pilates perspective, but it's also starting to get you to have a little bit of an abdominal crunch. So ribs slide into the hips, you remove the gap, you tip the tailbone up, and then we start to release and come back to our neutral spine. If you're good with this one, we're gonna take our first lift off. So what I want you to do is tip the tailbone, press the lower back, belly button comes into the floor, and then you roll up vertebrae by vertebrae until you get in between your shoulder blades. What we're trying to do is give each vertebrae a chance to meet the floor. So coming down, go through the shoulder blades, come to the floor, press your belly button into the ground so you get rid of that gap, and then we release and let the tailbone come back to neutral, okay? So again, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the belly button into the floor, it gets rid of the gap, slowly rise up vertebrae by vertebrae, not to a back bend, to a neutral spine so you're in between your shoulder blades, and then roll down through the shoulder blades, vertebrae by vertebrae, give that abdominal crunch. It's a lot of manipulation through the glutes, hamstrings, hips, abs, and back. So we'll do this 3 more times, nice and slow, and it's always about the slowness. Press your heels into the floor, tip the tailbone, get rid of the gap, rolling up between your shoulder blades. See if you can go even slower on the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, until you remove that little gap. You might even feel it in the hip flexors. Lower the butt down and then come into neutral spine. Inhale, slowly rise up, pressing vertebrae by vertebrae in between the shoulder blades. And if the shoulder blades are separated, you can really press that spine down, use your core to pull in, lower, squeeze out that little gap, and then release to let the gap come back. Our last one, tip, squeeze, lift, glutes, hamstrings, vertebrae by vertebrae, between the shoulder blades. Exhale, press between the shoulder blades, vertebrae, 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 squeezing out that little spot between you and the floor, and then letting it come back. All right, so that is spinal manipulation of the entire spine. It has to use your front of the legs, the back of the legs, the hip muscles, the core, and the back. So this is the reason why we like to use this nice supported movement of the spine, giving it that gentle shape of an S as we flow. I am gonna ask you to locate your strap now. So hopefully it's close by. It'll give you a second to find it. So we've manipulated our back, we've started to tilt the pelvis, and now we're gonna take this and continue a little bit with the work on our backs. Once you've got your strap, and if you don't have a strap handy, a towel is totally fine to use. We're gonna take the balls of our feet, okay? So if you can see where the strap is, it's not in the arch of my foot, it's on the balls of my feet. And that will leave me a lot of ability to do a dorsiflexion, okay? So we're wrapping it, I have it up on my right foot, and hopefully everyone can see that it is on the balls, not in the center of my foot. This is gonna get you a lot more movement through the ankle, okay? So we're lying down on our backs, knee can be soft, and we've got our thumbs pointed up to the ceiling so that we can pull down on the strap. It should be, normally that's pretty intuitive, but just in case, we have our hands up and we've got the strap on the balls of the feet. From here, what I want you to do is just gently pull down on the balls of the feet so that your heel is trying to get higher than your toes. And then you're gonna press like your foot is on a pedal to bring your foot back up so that your toes are higher than your ankle, okay? So pull down, see if you can get those toes lower than your heel, and then press up to see if you can get it higher. Now, if you can start to straighten that leg or even get the leg to pull closer to your body, you're gonna get that hamstring stretch. But right now we're really working on dorsiflexion. So we're just coming in with the stretch. You might feel the calves are tight. We're just going up and then we're coming back down. I just wanna make sure these ankles have gotten some flexibility before we start moving the entire leg. All right, so now that we've gotten a few of these presses and pulls, I want you to take the strap and put it in your opposite hand. So I have my right leg up and I've put both of the straps in my left hand. I want us to bend the knee slightly and pull into the chest. My other foot, my left foot, is grounded on the floor, and we're just going to extend that leg out to the side and then pull it around. So you can let that strap lengthen out as much as you can. You might be able to straighten the leg when you come up, then bend the knee as you come around, and then lifting up. You can keep the leg entirely straight if that feels right for you. And again, it depends on how much you need on that knee bend. So it could look something like this, while we're just starting to roll around and you're helping entirely that knee. If you find working with the strap a little bit uncomfortable, your other option is just holding onto the knee itself. Okay, you can use the opposite hand. It's going to be a smaller range of motion if we're using our hand on our knee, but it's definitely much more supportive because it's the knee joint you're holding. But if you're using the strap, you can get that foot a lot further away from your body, but still have that support. So it's going to be a little bit bigger movement through that hip. So you can see that I have a nice large range of motion that nobody else needs to do, but I can kick my leg all the way out and then pull it up. And then we'll do it a couple more times. So you're pressing your left foot into the floor and trying not to let your knee fall out to the side. Mine tends to want to go out like this to compensate, and then I get this big adductor opening. But what I want to do is keep pressing down so that it's, instead of both of our legs working, only the one that is going in circumduction is taking the full range of motion and not being compensated by the other leg. Let's do the other one now. So we're going to drop down, the other direction I should say, not the other leg, and then circle around and come up. Now by pressing into that left foot, you are going to need a lot more core stability. And when you're working with your hips, your lower back and your core, your abdominals have to engage to get those legs to move around. Otherwise we lose our balance. Right now we're not working with balance, we're working with stretch and rotation. One more time. And then walk your hands back up that band, bend the knee, and we will take the other side. So hopefully, without any kind of challenge on balance right now, we're able to open up those hips, get some smoothness in the joint. So first we're taking it for the ankle. So again, right on the balls of the feet, thumbs faced up. Pull your heel to the sky as the toes come towards your forehead, and then press it back up. So pulling down, yep, and then press it back up. Again, your choice. Your knee can be bent and you're a little further away, but you're still doing the same thing. It just depends on your hamstring, how tight the back of your legs are. Or you can come up a little bit higher, straighten that knee out. We're not on a balance because we're on our backs, so that knee can be locked because it's not about the joint needing to move around. And if you want to pull a little bit closer to your forehead, you're going to get a bigger stretch back here, and you're going to maybe feel it a little bit more in the Achilles tendon and the calf. Okay? So do a couple more of these and make them nice and slow. Really press to get the toes up, and then help pull down to get the stretch in the calf, ankle, Achilles tendon. One more time. And then we're transitioning the straps over to the opposite hand. The other one can be down on the floor, just supporting you. We're taking a look at that right knee because it's my left foot that's up in the sky now. We're making sure it stays up, and then we're going to take it for our first little circle. I'm bending my knee just to see how it feels, and then I'm going to press my foot away. And I'm letting that strap out as much as I need to. Your elbow can bend to compensate for where you need to bend the knee. So when the knee bends, so does your elbow. And if your leg stays straight, so should your elbow. So now I'm going to take it to my bigger circles, and the more I go bigger, the more I have to press down into that stabilizing foot so it doesn't compensate. So it's like a scale. When one leg goes out, the other leg wants to go out to compensate, but really what we want to do is isolate the one leg. So press down into the foot that's grounded and start to use the core. Try to not let the shoulders roll up too much. They'll roll up a little bit, that's natural, but don't let yourself be completely pulled up off of the floor. Do a few more, see if you can get your range of motion a little bit bigger. If you get this clunky bit, sometimes it is just ligaments rolling over one another. Don't worry too much about it unless it's painful. If it is painful,
then I want you to reduce the range of motion. Let's draw the other way. So you're dropping your foot down, coming around and back up. We're taking that breath. I like to inhale on the way down and exhale to squeeze all the way up. Just seems to be more natural for the diaphragmatic breathing. So you're squeezing the air out of the lungs when you're bringing your foot back up. One more time, down, around, and come back up. Let's walk our hands up the strap, bend that knee, unhook, and place our feet back down on the floor. Hands are nice and wide. Do a little rock side to side. Again, we've been trying to keep that back flat, so let's just rotate through the lower part of the spine, and then roll onto one side to make your way up to seated. So it's now time to get off of those backs and have a seat on your mat. Now, the first one that I want to practice today is going to be, I'm going to see how everyone feels. Grab a block, and I want to see how everyone can sit with their knees at 90-90. If this is a problem for anyone at all, at any time, feel free to bring in one of the foot towards your inner thigh, okay? But we're trying to work the hips today, so this will work the one. You've only got a smaller angle here, but when you can take it to 90-90, you're gonna have an internal rotation here and an external rotation with this one. And we definitely have that block in front of us. Okay, everyone okay? All right, so again, take some breaks if you need to, okay? So we're sitting up nice and tall. We've got our block in front of us. And we're gonna lift up that block because it's an extension of our arm, and I've got it in my right hand, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead, my right foot is forward, and I've got the block in my right hand, and I'm gonna put the block down and then lean over, okay? So that's giving me some support, and then I'm gonna lift the block up, and then I'm gonna reach my pinky on the left down towards the floor. Now, this is where it gets crunchy. This is where you're gonna feel it, okay? So we have the block in our hand for awareness, and we're gonna take our pinky and reach it somewhere to the floor. It does not have to touch. Inhale, come up. You can put the block down on the floor if you're okay, and now put your hand firmly on it and reach over, give me a bigger stretch. And then leave the block on the floor, and then come over. Okay, so one is keeping the block in your hand because you don't want to go down too far on the floor on that right side, or you can keep the block on the floor and then just continue the crunch on the left side. Again, it doesn't have to be so big. We'll do 2 more of these. If you want to even remove the block now, because you can get down, I can get down all the way, and again, I'm showing you just ranges of motion, and you don't have to progress. You just want to be able to feel the stretch. That's what I'm looking for. Not getting further, feeling the stretch. So it's a nice side stretch here, reaching up over the head, and then it's a big crunch in the hip as you reach the other way. Let's do 1 more. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, reach over your head. Inhale, come up, and see if you can crunch on that side, okay? All right, let's come back up and find our blocks. We're definitely gonna want our blocks, and we're gonna bring them back to the front. I'm on the high setting of my block. I've still got my feet in the same position. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lean forward. So we definitely want that block. The first time I want that block as well. And we're gonna take the block and slide it out so that we can lean forward into the block. Go as far as it makes sense for you, and then release your hands down to the floor and walk back up. Okay, so now that block should be at a good distance for you. I want you to lean forward and touch the block, and then put your hands on the floor and walk yourself back up, okay? So lean forward, press into the front foot as you lean forward. That's the hip working on my right side to lean forward, and then use your hands to walk back up. So it's taking the stress out of coming back. If you want a little bit more, inhale your hands up, and then lean forward and try and touch your block. And then if you can, we're gonna release the block and come back up. Okay, that's a lot of work. If that's not for you today, go ahead and reach forward till you get that block. And then you can always walk yourself back up. It takes the pressure off. Or more work, inhale up. Exhale, lean forward, touch the block. Inhale, lift back up using the core and the hip, and exhale down by your side. Okay, 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, lean forward, press into that front foot, tip forward, find your block. You're gonna feel that stretch through the glute. Inhale, come up, and exhale, float to the side. We're gonna come and grab our block. So inhale, get yourself to your block, put your hands on the block, and then slide the block back in. I want you to grab that block back, okay? What we're gonna do is look at that knee on the right, the front one that's up, and put the block in front of you there, okay? So now we're twisting over to that knee. We have the block down. What I want you to do is slide that block out. You've got support. And then slide that block back in, okay? So now I'm feeling it more in this hip because I'm pressing forward using my core and feeling the hip on the side as I slide out and then I slide back in. We okay? It's a lot of work. If that is too much work for today, then just put the block down and bend the elbows and lean forward, okay? And then inhale, come back up. If we can do the slide out, sliding out. And then inhale, slide back. One more time, exhale, slide out. Maybe we lean forward. And then inhale, come back up. And we're gonna take the block now and we're gonna switch it so that it is in beside. So here's my angle. It's just by my foot, okay? So it's on the inside of my front foot. And now we're turning in towards the opening between your knee and your foot. Okay, so we turn towards the knee. We did front, we did the right side, and now we're on the left, and our hands are on the block. This one, we're going to go ahead, just put the block down and try a dive first and just see, because I find this one to be exceptionally sticky for me. It might have been the other one for you, but this one I find really tends to be sticky. Now we're trying to get this hip to press down, and we're using the foot as the stabilizer. So it's the double stretch as you lean forward into these joints, into these hip joints. If you feel like you can take the block on the side and slowly roll out a little bit further, okay, that's going to intensify, and then bring it back up. Otherwise, we're just diving forward using the block, coming as low as it makes sense for us today, and come back up. Okay, so this is really big, deep core hip work. Let's do it one more time. Exhale, sliding out, pressing into the foot and the knee now, and then inhale, come back up. All right, walk yourself into the center, move that block in front of you, grab the knee that's behind you, okay? So grab your left knee and help it get forward. Blah. And then I'll move the block just so you can see. I'm putting my hands behind me, and then I'm just letting those knees go side to side. How'd everyone do on that one? That was probably pretty intense, yes? There is some big work being done in those hips. All right, we're gonna do everything on the other side. Treat it like you don't know what's happening, because this hip does not know what's coming at it, okay? So 90-90, block in front of you. And again, take breaks where you need to. Our first one, we're gonna take the block in our left hand this time, so it's in the other one. So my right hand comes up, my left one comes out to the side. We're going to reach over to crunch in towards that right knee, and then we're going to put the block down on the left side just to stabilize us. Okay, so inhale, exhale, reach the pinky somewhere over. I've got the block in the sky. I kind of like having the block, so I'm doing it a couple of more times, but if you would like, you can put the block down here and just reach over a little bit more to get that side stretch. And this is the crunch. So now we're actively working into that opposite hip, stretching out the right side of the body. If we don't need the block at all, again, on the floor, I like to start off with the highest option and then decide if I need to go lower. Because sometimes I do find that one side of my body needed the option. And then reach. Let's do 2 more of these. These are, I find, the nicest ones to start us off. That little crunch in the hip, big stretch, and then release it out. One more time. Inhale. Pinky reaches to the floor or somewhere in that direction. And then come and grab your block. So we've got our block. We're bringing it to the front. We're sitting up nice and tall here. And our first lean forward on this one, okay? So you're pressing into the front foot and just go ahead and dive forward. Just see how it feels on that left hip now, and then press back up. Okay, so this is, again, don't worry about what anyone else in the screen is doing. Don't worry about me progressing. If you need to stay here, I want you to stay here because you are starting to loosen up that joint, okay? If you would like to go and slide the block out, you can see if you can go a little bit further. You can press on that block and then release the hands and walk yourself back up. And we're gonna lean forward, reach for the block, place the hands on the floor, and walk yourself back up. We'll do that 2 more times, just reaching for the block so we can find it, and then helping ourselves back up. 1 more time, just to reach for the block. I drop onto that block, I grab it with my hands, and then I walk myself up. If that hip is okay and you've got the strength in the core and the hip, inhale the hands up. Exhale, reach for your block. Inhale the hands up, and now that's really working because now that is more than a stretch. It is actually using that foot in the front, the leg in the front, to push off of, stabilizing that hip, using the core and back. Inhale, come up, and then exhale out to the side. 2 more times, inhale up. Exhale, reach long, strong back. We don't want to curve the spine here. And we'll do it 1 more time. A big inhale, rising up. Long, strong back, so you're using the core, tapping that block, and then coming back up and releasing. Let's all get our hands to the block. We're gonna grab that block, slide it back, and we're gonna turn towards the knee on the left. So put the block in the front of the knee. Make any adjustments you need to. If you need to move that leg a little further away, it's gonna open up that hip a little bit more. Pull it in to reduce. Pull it in to make it stronger. Pull it away to reduce. Okay, so this one, in to reduce, out to make it harder, in to reduce, out or out to make it easier, and in to make it difficult, because that's where you're gonna get more of a quad stretch on this side, okay? So play with the feet on either way so that you get something good going on, and then turn towards your block. Maybe even make that adjustment here. I feel good, I feel it in my quadriceps lumboris, the big guys in the back, sitting up nice and tall. And we're just gonna exhale, lean forward into that one. And then inhale, come back up. Okay, so exhale, lean into it, and then come back up. Now I like to stay on the high side of my block. If you are able to get right down to the floor, some of us might have a lot of hip mobility. Yeah, you can come and you don't even have to use it. And if you are not using the block, you can just walk your hands out a little bit further and then walk yourself up. Otherwise, we're taking the block and we're sliding it out. Slide the block out, pressing on the edge of the block, and then sliding back in again. Exhale, push the block out, and then drag it back. Now, if you have carpeting or something that has a little bit more friction versus me on the hardwood floor, you're gonna actually get a little bit more of a workout by pulling this block back. So that's even better for you. So slide it all the way out, pull it back in. We'll do 1 more. You should be feeling this in the hip of the knee that you're floating in front of, and then pull it back. Okay, again, like I said earlier, you've got core and back engagement at the same time. We're gonna take the block all the way in between your knee and your foot on this side. And even me just twisting this way, I'm feeling the change in the way my hips are feeling. Over here, most of it is on this hip. As soon as I come to the center, it's equal. And now I'm twisting, rotating towards the other knee. And I'm going in between the gap between my foot and my knee. Now we're feeling the pressure down on this side. Take your block and just bend into it. This one for me, I tell you, got some tightness here. And then come back up. If you can move the block away. You can use your hands on the floor. I really like the high block on this one. And then come back up. 2 more times, just sinking down nice and slow. And then come back up. And then 1 more time, nice and slow. And come back up. If you want to do the slide with me, slide the block out on the angle, on its little edge there, and then slide it back up. Use your core and press into that knee as you come down into the foot. So both at the same time, press forward into knee and foot in the front, and then slowly pull yourself back up. We'll do 2 more of these. Slowly out, slowly back in, and then last one, all the way out, and all the way back in. Just put that block off to the side. Help get that knee around, so slide it back so you're not using muscles to do it, you're using more of your upper body, and then have a seat. Oh, how are the hips? Are we okay? That's a lot of work, okay? And so we're gonna lean back again, and we'll just widen the feet, and we'll drop over to one side, and then drop over to the other side. Now from this one, walk the feet back in, and we'll do just one more little release. Grab your right foot and slide out your left leg so that you get it above your knee, okay? So if this is where you're at and you can feel that hip is already talking to you, stay here. But otherwise you can lift up the chest and lean back, and then slide your heel towards your body so that the left foot comes in. It's a seated pigeon. Okay, so what I've done is I've just done this, and now my hip is moving because I'm pulling my foot in. If I can get my butt to my heel, I can do it that way as well. And then I'm going to readjust by lifting the chest up and then doing a little rock side to side. Okay, so again, base movement, just try and get that ankle on the knee, and then you can do a little rock side to side. You can slide that leg up to start to increase the hip flexion, and then you can bring your butt in and sit up nice and tall and do that rock side to side. Let's try the other side. So I'm just sliding the leg back out, unhooking, and then doing the other side. So I'm extending my left leg, grabbing my ankle on the right and putting it on above the knee. I don't want it on the knee, so above the knee. And then you can start to slide in until you feel a stretch on that right hip, okay? If you want to go in really deep, you can pull the heel in. You can also lift your butt up and bring it towards your heel, and then do the little rock side to side. All right. So let's go ahead and release that. And let's take it to a forearm tabletop. So we're coming down onto the forearms, and we're going to have our knuckles either touching or your hands flat on the floor. It doesn't matter whether you're here or whether you're here. That's really just a preference on how you want to hold the radia and ulna, whether you want to press down onto the sides of your pinkies or whether you want to come down onto the full hands. But we want to make sure that those elbows are right underneath the shoulders. So just take a look and make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. I like to go with pressed fists, and then your knees are underneath your hips. If you need some extra cushioning for those knees, go ahead and do that. Again, we're working on hips today. So what I'd like you to do is kick out the right foot, okay? So we're kicking out the right foot, and it's staying on the mat. So it's on the mat here, and we're pressing down into the forearms, pulling our shoulders back. I want you to slide the toe out to the side, and then drag it back in on the floor, okay? So let the toe float out to the side, drag it onto the floor, and then pull it back. We'll do 2 more of these, sliding the toe out to the side, bring it back in, nice. And then 1 more time out to the side, and bring it back in. Let's see if we can lift that foot up. So I'm lifting that right foot up, and what I want to do is cross it behind the left. So cross it behind the left and see if you can touch the floor, okay? So from this view, we have our foot out, we're lifting it up, and we're just crossing it the other side. If it doesn't touch, don't worry, but I want you to lift it up. We're stabilizing the core, and then we're just tapping it down. So inhale, lift up, exhale, cross it over. So glute, hamstrings, and hip, and then tap it down. Now I'm gonna stay in this position, I'll check you out in a second. Come up, cross it over the other foot. Bring it up, put it down, and slide it out. Okay, so that we're adding the two moves together. Slide it back, lift it up. It's like it's almost going over a speed bump. Lift it up, place it down, and slide it out. We'll do it one more time. Slide in, lift up, over that other leg as the speed bump, and then lifting up, place it down, and slide it out. Now if you can always keep the foot off of the floor, so we can lift it up and just cross over that speed bump, like you've just picked up momentum. If you picture a car flying over a speed bump at a ridiculous rate, it takes off, it launches. So instead we're just launching that leg all the way over the one leg, and then launching it all the way back. You can tap down anytime you want to. Let's do two more of these. Inhale, exhale, cross all the way over. Inhale, crossing back. Nice. One more time. Inhale, crossing over, and then bring it all the way back. Now, I have my toe out on the side. Okay, so you can see it's out on the side here. And we're just going to lift it up and down. So this is brace the core, press into the forearms. If you need to come up onto the hands, if you need to take a break, of course. And we're just gonna lift up and down. So brace that core, lift and use that glute and put it down. Now, if your foot is out too far and you're like, I can't lift that leg, bring it in a little bit and see if you can move it from there. Okay, the further out it is, the much more you're gonna have to use the hip, glute, and core. Lift it up and put it down. Lift it up and put it down. Two more times, up and down. Last time, up and down. Take child's pose. Wow, lots of work for those hips. So stretching it out. Big toes might touch, knees outside of the hips, and maybe we just do a little rock side to side here. Okay, so instead of doing the stretch, we're definitely into the strengthening part. The earlier one was stretching, was letting the body hang forward and gravity pulling your body in and stretching out those hips. A little bit of resistance on the way up, because when you come back up to seated, you are using your core and your back. But this one, this is all work. There is no easy stretching in this one. This is all about using your core, your back, and your hip. All right, let's go ahead and try the other side. So again, if we want to stay up a little bit higher, that's fine. Just make sure your head is neutral and you're looking down so that we're not stressing the head. If you want to come down onto the forearms, any way your hands want to be, elbows underneath, and we're going to start off with the extension of the leg. So it's just out, and we're going to drag it on the floor. Whether you have hardwood, whether you have carpeting, I want you to drag it on the floor and then pull it back in. I want you to use the resistance on the floor of the drag, whether it is smooth or more of a carpeting, and pull it back. Two more times, let it come out to the side, pull it back. Last one out to the side, and pull it back. Okay, so we've got our hip in line with our foot in line with our hip. It's just going to go over the speed bump, just the speed bump, not a slide out. So let's lift it over and cross touch the floor on the opposite side of your leg, and then inhale, coming back down. So inhale up, exhale, tap. And we're trying not to sway the back. So we're not trying to do a cat-cow when we're lifting up the leg. We're trying to press into those forearms so the back stays straight, and we're really using the butt. We're using the hip muscles to get that foot to come up and over. We can use our back and our core quite a bit, because when it drops down, I can sag into my belly, and then I can arch my back to kind of like make the motion smaller. But what we want to do is use the entire butt to do that. So we want to just brace that core and think about it as a hard block that isn't moving. All right, so let's do the slide out. So when your toe touches the floor on the on the stacked side, then slide it out, pull it back in, hit that speed bump, lift it up, and tap it down. Inhale up over the speed bump, tap the foot down, slide gently back onto your journey. Pull it back, hit the speed bump, and then tap down, come over the speed bump, foot down, smoothly slide out. If that is enough now, we're starting to feel the glute on the supporting leg. We're definitely working the glute of the leg that's rising up over that speed bump. We're pressing into the forearms, working those shoulders, and we're bracing the core. If we want to just hit that speed bump and float all the way to the other side, go ahead, lift up, draw all the way out. Inhale, exhale, all the way to the other side. 2 more of these. Up and over, up and over. Everyone get their foot out to the side. So we're now out to the side. Make the adjustments you need to. If it's too far out for this one, I want my heel pointed to the ceiling so I have more of a lift than here. If my heel is on the floor, it's different movement. I want you to get your butt activated. So point your heel up to the sky and your toe on the floor. Press into the forearms and then lead with the heel up. So up and down. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Up and down. You should feel the core. You should feel your butt. Up and down. Exhale. Inhale. We'll do 2 more of these. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale and inhale. Bring the knee in and sit in child's pose. Now, if you need a sip of water, it's a great time to do it. Otherwise, you're just sending your hips side to side, giving some love to all that work that we did. And then we'll make our way into tabletop. Make your way into seated, and we're gonna come to standing. I'm gonna grab a sip of water before I stand. Take your time, no rush. All right. How do you feel so far? Hopefully those hips are doing well. I have a chair beside me. If you have a wall or something that you want to hang on to, it depends on your balance, because we're going to do a little balancing now. This is where I like to have that little chair. I can show you what we're going to be doing. Holding onto the chair, always just holding onto the chair if you need to. Holding onto the wall, if you have one close by, wherever you're at, you can hold onto it. And we're putting the weight on the right foot. Okay? Shoulders back and down, hands on your hips. And we've got our heel lifted on the left. Okay? Soften your right knee and then just externally rotate. And then pull it back in. Okay? So this should feel pretty good. We're just externally rotating the hip out. It's like tree pose. And then come back in. One more time, externally rotate and come back in. Okay, if you're able to externally rotate and connect your toes to your ankle, what I want you to do is slide up. So you're just sliding up to the knee, just underneath the knee, and then slide it back down, and you can touch the floor or you can float. So inhale, lifting up, and then coming and sliding that toe back down. Again, holding onto something, and if you are holding onto something, see if you can just let it go and use your core and your hip. You're really using your hip flexor, your butt, turning that knee out, and then trying to slide your toe up against your leg and come back down. One more time, go ahead and lift up, slide, and come back down. Now, if you've got good balance today, slide up, and we're just gonna take the toe out to the side. So let it release out. Bring it back in and slide it down. Let's add the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. One more time. This butt is on fire. My hip is working as I come out, extend it, giving it that length for the quad, bring it in, put it out. So this is tree to your star. So inhale, exhale, let it go, and see if you can reach one of your hands up, or maybe both if you can release off of the wall or the chair, and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it come down. Okay, so now we were working into the side of the hip, into, well, this side, the one that you were on the leg that was balancing, that was glute min. That was the one that was activating to stabilize you. And we were moving, externally rotating, lifting up and down. These are the kind of movements that you would have to do to get over something. So you see these in a lot of movements where you do it really quickly and you do these kinds of things. We're doing it very, very neutrally so that we can get that big hip opening like we did on the back and we had it supported, but now we're doing it with the weight of our body and balancing. Remember at the beginning of the class when we were on our backs with the strap, I said we weren't balancing? Now we are. So we can feel how different it is. Okay, go and change to the other foot. Shoulders back and down, long spine. If you lean forward, you go forward. If you lean backwards, you tend to fall backwards, okay? Or you put unnecessary pressure on the back. So you want to zip up the belly, nice and tall. This is where we find our inner dancer. And then we soften those knees so that we have some give on either side so we can balance, okay? Now that we've done that, externally rotate and bring it back in. Okay, so we're just pivoting on the toe, we're on the other side. Externally rotate and bring it back in. 2 more times. What you're trying to do is try and get that knee out further so that you can open up like a door and then close it back. You want to have the most room to open up that door and then bring it back. So we're noticing the range of motion here before we start to move. Now that we've got that range of motion, I see I can go that far as my nth degree. I'm going to slide my toes onto my foot, onto my leg, and I'm going to try and keep that knee in the same position. It's going to want to wobble back. So what I want you to do is now keep that same extension and then lift it up while you're still driving that knee behind you. It's going to want to come forward and then lower it back down, touch, okay? So inhale, slide and press your toes against your leg and then come back down. So we're thinking of 2 things, pressing the toes into the leg and taking the knee backwards. Then you're going to feel it in the butt here, and we're going to be stabilizing through this one. 1 more time, sliding up and then putting it back down. If we're just working on the slide, because we're feeling it working here, we're feeling it working here, stay. If you want to take it to a partial star, lift up. Now we got to work this quad. Extend it out. Bring it back in and slide it down. Now my knee wants to come forward. I'm pulling my knee back, then I'm kicking my toe out. I'm bringing it back and I'm sliding it down. My core is engaged. Everything is working here. Up, out, in, down. This will be the last one where we're going to hang the foot out. Hang the foot out if you can. Release the same hand as leg. And then see if we can release the other one from the wall, the chair, from our hip. And take it to star for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Give it a shake out. Balancing complete. So that same work feels so different when we have to stand and hold those legs up. All right. Give me a little march on the spot. And then let's take it with the feet fairly close to one another. Doesn't have to be touching. Inhale all the way up. And exhale down through heart center. Just squeeze your butt. Press your hips forward. Take your hands forward. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, coming back down. 1 more time, a nice big inhale, rising up. And an exhale, coming down. Let's take this for the stretch. So soften your knees. My right foot is planted. My left is stepping back. And I've got my heel lifted and my toes on the floor. Okay? You can see that? Okay? And then what I want us to do is see if we can drive that heel down and then just come back up. Okay? So we're just trying to get the stretch through the calf. We've got that crisscross going on again. So now we're getting that stretch through the hip flexor while you're trying to press that one down and then come back up. Okay, we'll do that 1 more time. Press the heel down. My knee is soft in the front and then come back up. Let's see if we can do the curtsy lunge. So drop the heel down and then just tip a little forward and see how it feels in those hips. And then come back up and then lift the heel in the back. Okay, drop the heel down, stabilize here, tip forward. Again, core engaged. You want to fall forward so you're pressing into that front foot. We're stretching out through the back leg. Come back up and then lift the heel. If you want to come into the full expression of a curtsy lunge, if everyone knows what that is, you come down, let your hands come out to the side, do a big bow, and then inhale those hands up and release the foot. Okay? So exhale, cross the hands down, drop the heel, reaching down and out, and then inhale, cross the arms,
floating all the way back up. We'll do it 2 more times. Exhale, stretching that ankle, stretching the leg, and then inhale, rising all the way back up. And our last one, exhale. I just find this one to be very graceful, pretty. It does a lot of stretching. Inhale, rise up. Now for those of us who feel really, really good today, you can take it to star. So just slide that other one back out and take it to the star. Nice, we've been here once before, but that seemed a little bit easier to get into. All right, let it go. Let's take the stretch. We're gonna come down and work on the ball, so we're gonna release all these butts and everything like that, so don't worry, we're getting there, we're getting there. All right, shake it out, do a couple of, dance it out. We were already taking our big finale bow, so why not dance it out first, right? Once we've gotten a little shake out, we're ready to go. Just stand for a moment in your mountain pose. Let the shoulders relax, maybe even close your eyes if you feel stable, and just take a couple of deep breaths. We've been doing a lot of things. I've been telling you probably a lot of different movements that we probably don't practice on our everyday living. So I just want you to clear your mind again, take those nice deep breaths like we did in the beginning. And exhale, let the shoulders melt, let the fingertips feel like there's molasses or honey dripping off of them. We're just feeling good and stable, letting the heart rate come down, letting all thoughts of judgments about the next side, let it go. One more nice deep breath. And then exhale, let it go. All right, hands are on the hips, softening the knees, lifting up your opposite heel. So it happens to be my right because I'm on my left leg now, and sliding behind. Okay, so once we've got that on the leg crossed to behind, my heel is naturally lifted. This is where we're working. We're just pushing the heel back and feeling the stretch in the calf, and then popping back up again. Okay, so drop it down. This is the first part of getting into a nice big lunge. Dropping it down, the crisscross of the legs, so getting into those hips. And we're trying to pull ourselves forward. One more time, dropping the heel down, and then coming up. All right, if we feel good, drop the heel down, and then tip forward. Try and align yourself over that front knee. So you're pushing the hip back. It happens to be my left hip because my left hip is forward. So left hip pushes back as I dive forward, stretching in more into that right ankle, and then popping back up and lifting the heel. So exhale, tipping forward, pressing, getting stretch in, hamstring, solid work for the quad, stretch, and then come back up. One more time like this and stay. If we're finding that having that scissor stance and using the legs to stabilize is challenge. Or we can take it for the full bow. We're gonna release those hands out to the side, dive forward as much as it makes sense, and then pop the heel up as you cross those hands and rise up. Exhale, dive down, drop the heel, lean forward, feel the stretch in that front hip. Inhale, open up. Let's take 2 more big bows. Exhale down. Inhale, floating all the way up. And our last big bow. Exhale, dive, press, curtsy lunge. And then inhale, rise all the way up. I'm feeling cheeky today, so I'm gonna take it to star. So I'm gonna just lift up that leg in the back and then sweep it out. See if you can get over to a star position. And then when you're ready to let it go, softly release and shake it out. All right, little sip of water if you need to now. And find your ball. All right, got your little tennis ball. And we're sitting down on our mats. I've got my knees out in front. Now you've got a lot of real estate back here, okay? I talk it as real estate because it's good. It's good property back there, right? So what I want you to do is take that ball and you're gonna lean over. My knees are gonna come over to the right side and you're gonna find a soft part. I always like to palpitate. That's my bottom of my pelvis. Hear about that's called the sit bone. It's not really a sit bone. It's a bone that you would sit on, but it's not actually called sit bone. That's my thing. But you know what I'm talking about. There's like the little bone there that you don't want to be on. There's a whole pile of mushy business
that you can get onto. These are your glutes, okay? Glute max is what we're aiming for, right here. Take that ball and find the soft part. So not down here, somewhere nice and soft where that ball can touch in. And then we're gonna put our bum down, okay? And we're just gonna have it on that nice soft tissue of the muscle. Now it can go in a little bit further, okay? So it can be somewhere here. It can be anywhere here, okay? So just find a place that when your butt goes down onto it, it feels okay. And if it does feel okay where you've got it, we're not gonna put our entire weight on the little tennis ball. What I want you to do is where the ball is, it happens to be under my left one, lift up and then drop your knee and just let it go on top of that ball, okay? And then come back up. So it just should feel like a little P or something like that, and slightly annoying there. And then you're just dropping your foot, knee over to the side, and then bring it back up. Can we feel that? Just a little bit of a pressure. And then bring it back up. And we'll do it again, just a little out to the side, and bring it back up. If you found a spot where you are comfortable, and if you haven't found a spot that you're comfortable, just lift up a little bit and try and roll around on that ball, not putting a lot of weight on it, but just shifting it around. So I'm just lifting my butt, and I found a spot now that I'm just gonna press down, let the ball sit in it, and then take my knee out to the side again. Just let the knee drop out to the side. And then inhale, come back up. So exhale, let it come out to the side, and inhale, come back up. We'll do it one more time. We're just finding a different spot to maybe release some of the triggers in those hips. And then once we've done that, let's see if we can lengthen that leg out. And then let the other knee just drop over. And then come back up. So a little roll over. If you're like, I don't feel anything, grab the ball and put it in a different spot. And then just roll a little bit. Shouldn't be the full weight of your body. It's just enough so that you feel a little bit of a pressure. It's like a massage therapist putting their thumb into your glute, and then you're rolling over, giving it a little pressure, and then coming back out. One more time, go ahead and roll onto it, and come back out. Now we've worked into some of the glute muscles here. You can find your block and place your block down and put the ball on the block, and then put your calf on the ball between the block. If you've done this one with me before, you know it's good stuff. So now what we are going to do is we have it in the belly of the muscle. We're going to point the toe, and then we're going to flex. So we're going to point the toe, and we're going to flex. We can do a couple of more of these. And if that's good, we have the ability to go side to side. So draw, smile one way, and then draw, smile the other way. So you're letting that ball rise up and down with the calf, or you're letting your calf rise up and down on the ball. If you want to do a big circle around, you're getting that ankle rotation, and you're getting that same pressure like a thumb into your calf. And then once we've done that, we can slide down and slide back up. So now I'm bending my knee. So just bending my knee now, sliding back up. If we want, we can now get the ball to come onto the side. So now I'm dropping my knee out and coming onto the inside of my calf and rolling forward and backward on that. That's where I find I get a lot of issues, is on the side. So instead of right here in the center of the two muscles, we're now more on the inside, right on that one. And we're putting it down, letting the knee drop out because we don't worry about the compensation of that. So we can just press down onto the side there. And we're just rolling back and forth on that. Hopefully everyone's feeling some goodness on that. And then find a spot that really talks to you on the inside, okay? And then maybe draw some circles with the foot, or just move the ankle around, up and down, forward and backward. That's the way you get the calf to move, and then you can actually move some of those muscles around so that the ball can hit some of those trigger points that you might not be able to access when the muscle is in one position. Muscles don't stay in one position, they move around, right? So we're just trying to move the ankle around to get those muscles to move so that we can access different layers of the muscle. And then we can come back into the center. You might need to hold that ball, and you're gonna externally rotate the foot. We're gonna come on the outside. So now we're on this part of that calf muscle. And we're just gonna roll a little forward and backward on that one. I don't find that one to be as bad for me, but some people, when I've taught this before, they're like, oh my goodness, this is the one. This is the one. So this one might be the one for you. You can come up, right up to the top of the calf here, okay? And you can go right down to where the Achilles tendon touches. So that's where you start to see that little piece touches here. That's as low as you want to go, is the top of the Achilles tendon, okay? So just draw some circles here too. See how it feels going around. And then we're going to transition to the other side. So let's grab that ball, move the block out of the way. Take the knees over to the other side. So now I'm going to the right, feeling that mushy part of the bum, taking the ball, putting it on it. Once I've got it in the glute max, I'm able to let my knees float over to the other side. And then I'm just letting that one knee drop. Oh, I found a spot right away. So if you're not feeling the spot, it's okay, you can move it around. If you're feeling the spot, you know it. It's just one of those ones where you're like, that doesn't feel comfortable. You wouldn't want to be like hanging out in this position all day. So we're just moving around. And if you found that really nice spot, maybe you just let the weight of the leg hang out here. Just a couple of deep breaths into that one spot. We're just hoping it'll release. If we find it, you might want to move just a little slightly side to side and then bring it back up again and then let it drop out. Sometimes this one feels good, sometimes this one feels not so much. Again, this is just dropping the knee out to the side. We're going to extend, so we're going to lengthen out through the hamstring and the glute. So center yourself up and extend the leg out that has the ball underneath it, and then take the other knee and drop it over. So now we've just changed the way that the glute interacts with the hamstring, because now our leg is extended instead of knee bent, and we're just shifting over and coming back. So again, you can move that ball, place it a little higher, a little lower, and then shift the weight a little over. So we always have our foot and our leg connected to the ground so that we're not crushing our little ball. And then coming back. And we'll do it one more time, just a little shift and come back. All right, so we've done chest opening, especially if you had your hands behind you, you're still getting that chest opening. So don't worry, we're still getting benefits in the upper body in this particular class, because again, you're using your wrist and leaning back. If you have to hold on to a knee for a little bit because those wrists bother you, no worries. But for the most part, we're lifting the chest and leaning back. We've got the block in front of us for the calf now. Ball, block, middle of your calf, you've got the gastrus and soleus, two big muscles of the calf there. You want the ball right in between them. And again, lean back, place the other foot on the floor for stability, and then just point and flex. And just see if you can notice anything. You can move that ball a little closer to the Achilles tendon. You can move it a little higher up. I find more close to the Achilles tendon is where I feel this one. But some people have told me that they feel a little bit more in the center, right in the center, the belly of the muscle, and some people feel it closer to the knee. Once we've done some pointing and flexing, then maybe we start off with the smiley face, drawing a little half moon. And then if the half moon feels okay and we want to do the full circle, we can do the point, flex, and circumduction, right? So it's coming to the top, it's the flex. When you're coming to the bottom, it's the point. And then you're doing those big circles. And then you can rotate the other way. So you get a little bit of ankle, some calf. Then we're going to turn it on the inside. So grab that ball, find the inside of your muscle, internally rotate, let the other leg just roll out. And then maybe you just do a little rock forward and backwards. And again, for me, it's the same thing. The inside of my calf is the tighter one. It's the same, it has the same sort of sensation on this leg as it did on the other one. And again, you're just looking to see if that is the same for you. Just means I'm using my legs equally, which is kind of good. But they're still very tight, so that's kind of bad. Although we're not judging it, right? So we're just noticing it. So it's not good or bad, it just is. But it does give me some feedback. And then once I've done that side, we're going to test the other side and just notice. Again, feedback. Is it the center of your calf? so that your foot, when it's flexing in that, is getting the just equal distribution, or is your inside calf or your outside calf getting more of that tension? So again, externally rotating, and then maybe just rolling a little side to side, a little forward and backward. Again, whatever makes you see some of the differences in the three parts of the calf: the center, the inside, and the outside. And once we've done that, let's go ahead and release those wrists if we've been on them for a while. Grab that ball and put it off to the side. And if we want, we can take our block. We're going to use it between our shoulder blades just to open up the chest a little bit more. Just because I did a lot of focusing on the back, I don't want to put the block underneath the pelvis. We did that, and I believe in our last class together. So this time, if you want to use the block, we're going to find ourselves with the block between our shoulder blades, and it's on the long side, okay? If you have a towel and you want to put it on the block so the edges of the block aren't so pokey, go ahead and do that. And we're just trying to find it in between our shoulder blades, okay? So just shift. You're going to interlace your fingers and hold your head, and then see if you have a second block. Here's where the second block. So let me give you all the options, because we don't know how we're feeling today. You can have it like this, okay? So that you can put your back into the block so it's between your shoulder blades. You can hold your head and then release down and see if it can rest on that block. Now, if you need that block a little bit higher because you want that chin tucked, just place it so that it feels good. I'm on this one. And if you have a lot of opening in the chest, because we did do a lot of the putting our hands behind our back, you can remove the block and see if your head can touch the floor while you have the other one in between your shoulders. Now, again, blocks aside, you could still do everything like this on your back without a block. If we've got our heads securely on a block or the floor, and we want to take our hands down now, I like to do my palms up, and that's going to pull my shoulders down. It's going to lift my chest up, give me a bit more of a back bend. And then if we're able to tip the chin up, so now we get that cervical arch a little bit through the shoulder blades and then down. So we worked earlier by pressing the lower back down and then scooping up. This is the passive version of coming from the top down. So just let those hands relax down by your sides. Let your head be supported by floor block. And if you have the other block between your shoulders, just let your shoulder blades melt around and outside that block. Now my knees are bent and my knees are actually touching. But if we want to take our legs out, do it very slowly. Slide one heel by pressing the other foot on the floor and seeing if it changes anything in our lower back. And if it changes it and it feels okay, extend the other one out. If it changed it and you're like, oh, this is going to be a little bit too intense for your arching, then leave the knees bent. So as soon as I let the other one go, it rises up the pelvis. And now my rib cage is flaring out a little bit more. And I've got even more of a chest opening just because my hips now have to tilt down because my legs are outstretched. If you want to put that little bit of pressure back into the lower part of the back so that it's not stretched out so much, just bend the knees. Now that we've gotten into a position that might be suitable for us for the next few minutes, we're going to go back to our breathing. So let the lips part. Think what kind of breath you did in the beginning, whether it was ujjayi, whether it was nose, nose, whether it was nose, hissing mouth. Just start to practice that one again. Maybe we notice that the nose is cleared a little. Maybe we notice that it did plug up, and again, we're just not judging it. It just, usually when we do our practice, the nose clears out. A little bit of movement helps clear out fluids, including stuffiness of nose. It's when we lie in bed at night that we notice that histamine starts to interact and we stuff up. Tends to be that way with colds. So fluids just start to become a little bit more
unfluid when we're not moving around. If you're going to join me with the counted breath, we're going to start with a count of 4, pause for the 2, and exhale for 6. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds together. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, melt down around your block slowly. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest is up and hold. Exhale, melt. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Regular breath. Letting the feet fall out to the side or letting the knees knock. Relaxing through those hips. So much work for the hips today. Stretch, strength, balance. Probably felt that in the core and the back. We did a little bit of work for the shoulders because we were in our shoulder stance or tabletop position. Now we're getting into these gentle back bends. We're letting the tension go in the fingertips and the wrists. And then our last part is the face, checking in again, maybe tipping the chin a little higher, letting the lips part, softening around the eyes. Just letting ourselves lay in silence. If your mind has wandered, you started to think about things that are not in the 4 walls that contain you at this moment, then bring it back into the room. Being in a meditative state isn't about having a blank mind. It's not about clearing your mind of every thought. It's about relaxing the thoughts that are in the brain so that we're not using energy. We're not having all the chaos and all the what ifs and possibilities. They're endless. And the brain is designed to do that. But every once in a while, we just need to calm it down, focus in on the present moment. That is really the only thing that is in our control.
Because anything, the what ifs, the future, what happened in the past, that is not anything that we can control. So being meditative is just letting things in and around you make their noises and you hear them. Letting you feel sensations, whether it's breeze or heat, maybe it's a itch on your skin. We're noticing that it's in the present moment. You can do something about these things. So just take a moment again, just notice what's in your present moment, how the body feels against the block or the floor, how the breath feels, maybe what noises you can hear, maybe the breezes on the body, the sensations that you can feel. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale. And let it go. If we are fully outstretched, block or not, we're going to bend one of our knees. And then the other one so that we've got support of the feet on the floor. And if you've let your hands come down by your side and you have the block, we're going to slowly bring one hand up behind the head, follow it by the other one, interlace those fingers and slowly lift your head up off of the floor or the block. And then we can roll off of the one that happens to be between our shoulders. Or if you're not on one, you can just roll over onto your side. Use your bottom arm as your pillow, and your top hand just floats in front of you. Stack your knees. Let's take a moment just to feel the back, feel the hips now that we're sideline. Taking a couple of deep breaths, allowing the air to flow into the back body. It was probably compressed with the block or on the floor, so we could only breathe into the front body. Now we have full range of the breath through the lungs, front, back, sides. And then to sit ourselves up, I like to press into the hand that's in front of my body, using my arms as opposed to my back, and then walking up with the other hand, making our way back into a seated posture, ending the class with 2 deep, full breaths with movement, shoulders up, back, and down, eyes open or closed. Inhale, rise all the way up, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, chin to chest, float those hands back down through the center. We'll do that one more time. A nice big inhale, rise up. And then exhale, floating down, letting those hands rest in the laps, stacking the head over the shoulders. Thank you everyone for practicing this morning.